Let's have a look at a slightly different style of equation, still very straightforward. This is step 2 of the process that we need to look at. We've got an equation to solve, 2x equals 10. Obviously, again, very easy to do in your head. 2x is a 10, well 2 5s are 10, so x must be the number 5. So what you've got to realise when we write down something like 2x, it actually means 2 times x, 2 lots of x. So it's a times that we've got here in this particular example. 2 times x equals 10. So if I give you a similar sort of sum, the numbers are different but the structures are basically the same. Something times something equals 10, we've got there. 2 times x equals 10. In this sum I've got 3 times 4 equals 12. That's a true statement. I could rewrite that sum as another true statement in a different way. How? Well, I could leave the 12 alone on the right hand side. I could take that times 4 and I could take it to the other side of the equal sign. And if I take a times 4 to the other side, it just does the opposite. In the same way that when I took a plus over in step 1, it became a minus. Or if I took a minus over, it became a plus. So a times taken to the other side becomes a share. That's how we show share by 4 in maths. We draw a line and then put a 4 on the bottom line. The 3 hasn't gone anywhere, so that stays on the left hand side. So the times 4 has gone over, becomes a share 4. That's also a true statement. 3 equals 12 share by 4. Yes, that's true. So in the same way, what I'm going to do is the following. I've got x's on the left hand side of the equal sign, left hand side. So I want to leave them on the left. So I want to leave the x on the left. So what I'm going to do is leave the 10 where it is on the right, and I'm going to take that 2 to the other side. Now obviously if I take that 2 to the other side, as it stands now, it's x times 2. X times 2 is 2x, so it's a times 2. Take the times 2 to the other side, it becomes a divide 2 on the other side. So if that true is a true statement, then the line below is a true statement. So that means we've got x equals, leave that alone, now just work this out. 10 share by 2 is 5, and there's your answer. That's question 1. Let's do another one. Question 2. How about this one then? How about 3x is equal to 1? Very similar to question 1, but it's a slight subtle difference in the way we present the answer. Once again, I've got 3 times x equals a number. So I'm not going to show you with another sum at the side because the structure is exactly the same as question 1. But what I will do is this. I'm going to say I want the x to appear on the left because that's where it started in the question. So what I need to do is x times by 3. I need to get rid of that times by 3. So I take it to the other side. It's going to become a divide by 3. So I'll leave the 1 exactly the same. And I'm going to take the 3 and make it a divide by 3 on the other side. So now what we're going to do is work out the next step. We're going to say, right, okay, x is the same as, well, what is 1 divided by 3? Don't reach for your calculators. If you did, you get a decimal, 0.333 and so on. It's 0.3 recurring. What you need to do is realise that when you take 1 and you share it by 3, 1 cake shared by 3, the answer is 1/3. That is the actual answer. It's the fraction as it stands, 1/3. You do not need to change that to a decimal or awkward number at all. So if the answer is not a whole number like it was in question 1, leave the answer as a fraction. That's something a lot of students find very difficult to begin with, but if you get used to it, it will help you a lot in the future. Okay, so that's the answer. X equals 1/3. So if 3x is a 1, x must be the answer 1/3. That's the answer. Let's try number 3. Slightly different structure in number 3. Number 3, we've got 10 is equal to 5 x's. So in this particular example, you can see a very easy sum. 10 equals, obviously the answer is 2 because 5 2s are 10. We can see that, do that straight away in our head. But what's the logical process? Well, what we've got is a number equals 5 times something. So you could have something like this, 8 equals 4 times 2. That's the same sort of structure, obviously with different numbers, as that is. So that's a true statement. We could rewrite that as another true statement, leave the 8 exactly the same, leave the 4 exactly the same, and take the times 2 to the other side. A times 2 on the other side will immediately become a divide 2 on the other side. So we get this statement, 8 share by 2 equals 4. Is that true? Of course it is, so you're allowed to do it. Do the same thing here. The x is on the right hand side, there's the centre, this is the right hand side. If the x appears on the right in the question, keep it on the right in the answer. So I just leave the x on the right. What I've got there is x times 5, or 5 times x, same thing. So it's a times 5 I want to get rid of. So I'm going to take that 5 to the other side. If I take the 5 to the other side, instead of a times 5, it becomes a share 5. So I'll leave the 10 where it is, and it becomes a share 5 on the other side. Just like that times 2 became a share 2 on the other side. Okay, now we have to tidy up. Now this will work out to be a nice whole number. So we do another step. 10 shared by 5 is 2 equals x. And that's how you present your answer. X on the right hand side, leave it on the right hand side in your answer. That's it, 2 equals x. One more. Number 4. Okay, number 4, we have 9 equals 10x. So once again we've got the x's on the right hand side. Once again it's 10 times x. What I'm going to do is get x on the right hand side on its own. I need to get rid of that 10, so it's x times 10, or 10 times x at the moment. So if I take the 10 to the other side, it's going to become a divide by 10 on the other side. So leave the 9 exactly the same, divided by 10. So we get to there. Next step, we work out what 9 shared by 10 is. Well, if you did it on a calculator, 9 shared by 10, you get 0.9. And that's perfectly fine. But why bother with that? That is not a nice whole number. 0.9 is not a nice whole number. But if you ever get a situation with not a nice whole number, then just leave it as a fraction. The answer is 9/10. 9 over 10, 9/10. That's it. That's step 2. Short and sweet. See you on step 3.